Welcome to the Quick Start video for Unit 4 featuring Conditionals. Here's what we'll cover. We'll introduce the learning goals and computer science concepts, call your attention to some key preparation tasks, and summarize each lesson's main activity. Feel free to have the Unit 4 materials open as you listen, so you can pause at any time to look at them more closely and continue watching. During this unit, your students will understand what conditional statements are, why and when to use them. They'll learn to use the logic blocks so that different conditions yield specific outcomes. And finally, they'll collaborate with their classmates to create a game that uses the microbit and a program that uses conditionals. So an important part of coding is telling the computer when to perform a certain task, which is where conditionals come in. They clarify a specific condition or a rule or a criterion that must be met before an action is performed. So conditionals, they follow two formats. If a condition is met, then a certain action is performed. Or if a condition is met, then an action is performed, or else a different action is performed. Your preparation includes the usual tasks of reviewing the materials and practicing all of the activities. For the unplugged activity in Lesson A, you'll want to decide if you'll do the activity as a class, in small groups, or as a pencil and paper activity, and prep the conditional statements you'll use. We provide some examples as well as potential extensions and variations to the activity. Now, your Lesson B preparation includes deciding if you'll pair the students or let them self-select. One benefit of you deciding is you can pair students so that one student could potentially mentor the other. And in addition to the usual prep of getting all the materials ready for the project in Lesson C, you'll want to review the optional videos to decide which of them you want to show your students in class and decide on the student pairings. Lesson A, the unplugged activity, is a variation of the game red light, green light, with you calling out conditional statements and students acting them out. It's sure to be quite entertaining as they gain a better understanding of conditionals through this unplugged activity. In Lesson B, the coding activity continues the rock, paper, scissors theme. This time, your students will code the microbit to play the game, instead of just keeping score as was done in the previous unit. This activity is run a little differently. You'll start by reviewing the rules and conditions of the game to write the pseudocode with your students. Then have your students work in pairs to code the game on their own. Now, developing persistence and learning from mistakes is a key characteristic in coding. But if your students need a little additional help, feel free to use the provided tutorial link, and that will walk you step by step through coding the rock, paper, scissors game. In Lesson C, the project is a board game. Students will work in pairs to code and create an original game with the microbit as the central feature and rules that use conditionals. Ideas for the role of the microbit are included, as well as two project examples. This project may take a couple of class sessions for students to complete. Once they finish the first versions of their games, you'll want to give them some time to beta test by playing one another's games and giving feedback to identify potential improvements. And then if time allows, it would be great to let students implement some of the improvements. In conclusion, have fun with this unit. Board games are fun. Students are drawn to the idea of creating rules and games that they can play against each other and with each other. So really experiment with this unit and have fun and have a great time doing it.